Today is a very special day, Disappearance Day of Ramanujacharya. Yesterday I told that verse from Padma Puran says that if someone will chant any mantra which is not gotten by one of four bona fide perceptorial channels in Kali Yuga, that mantra will not be fruitful. It cannot give love of God, which is the point. So there will be four sanctifying sampradayas in Kali Yuga coming from Shri, that is Lakshmi, and Acharya is Ramanujacharya. Then yesterday we heard from Brahma comes Madhvacharya, from Rudra Shiva comes Vishnu Sami, from four Kumaras Nimbarkacharya. And our Gurudev explained this word Sampradaya does not mean sect or group or something like this. It is the etymological meaning, actual meaning of this word is Sampradaya. Samyak means full, pra means pragya, that is divine knowledge. Sampradaya, it is giving. So it means, Gurudev explained, where transcendental divine knowledge is properly retained and bestowed upon others, that is called Sampradaya. It is Guru Parampara, it is preceptorial channel. Realized souls who have that knowledge, they can give to others, those who are surrendered souls. So Ramanujacharya is one of these four. You know, when Vedic sacrifices were misused for unrestricted violence, then Buddha avatar had to come and established non-violence. After him, Shankaracharya came and re-established the Vedas, but he spoke about Brahman as ultimate reality, impersonal, but he made this contribution that he brought people back to the Vedas and they were following Vedic rituals, dharmas, all those things. But ultimate goal was to realize you are Brahman. Then after that Shankaracharya, then Ramanuja came and he said that that is not the actual interpretation of the Vedas. The Vedas do not say this. So he appeared, he was sent, of course, by God. In his previous identity, he is Lakshman, the younger son of not son. Sorry, here my phone is. Younger brother of Ramachandra, Bhagavan, Lakshman. That is why his name is Rama Anuja. Anuja means one who is born after, means younger brother. He appeared in village Perambadur in the district of Chengalpet in South India. His father was Nrishingacharya of Kushika Gotra. His father was also unmatched scholar, and Ramanuja first studied under him, their father. Then he came to Sri Rangam, South India, and studied the Vedas. Later, and he was disciple of Sri Mahapurnacharya. His power of remembrance was so sharp, while in Sri Rangam he learned all the scriptures in a very short time. But before that, he was disciple of, I think, Achyuta Preksha, Our Gurudev wrote biography, but it is very long. I cannot read everything. Yes. Okay, I will go by the topics, how they're not in chronological, but because Gurudev is about certain point, he's quoting from this Shastra or this devotee or that encyclopedia topic. So, Sri Ramanuja, he came to know that there is one very ancient commentary on Vedanta Sutra called Bodhayamvriti by one devotee, Bodhayam. But Mayavadis, they were keeping it hidden in Kashmir, in one Devi's place, Kali. They had one mat there. They would not give others. Why? Because it was devotional, censure. Nowadays also, there is so much control about information. What you can get or what is misinformation, what is disinformation, all this. Those who are controlling, and they are speaking untruth, lies as their truth, and truth they censure like this because demoniac. So here also, Ramanuja went there and wanted to get that, but they would not give. But by the grace of that Devi, somehow he got, and they ran away with his disciple Quresh. And the Mayavadis, they were chasing after them but could not catch them. So while they were going, in the night time, Quresh would study that Bodhayamvriti commentary, and after 1 month he memorized it all. Such was his power of memory. Then after 1 month, they caught them and they gave that scripture back, but Quresh already memorized. So based on that Bodhayamvriti, Ramanuja wrote Vedanta Sutra commentary, devotional commentary. That is actual commentary. Nowadays, you just press few buttons and it is copied. At that time, it was not like that. One copy, book, if you want to get, you will have to write it your own. So for those Mayavadis to keep one copy was okay, no problem. It is not like today, share to million people like this, no. But that does not mean that if today these all books are so much available that everyone has access to them. You may have it on your computer, on your mobile, anywhere, but whether you can receive the message depends on your surrender and blessing of Krishna. So Quresh was very dear disciple of Ramanuja. Also one time some disturbed king, because Ramanuja was preaching about Vishnu Bhakti, not Shiva Bhakti. They thought Shiva is supreme. But Ramanuja proved by Shastra Vishnu is supreme, Shiva is his servant. So they were disturbed. They invited Ramanuja to debate, but their intention was that they will kill him. Or means not kill, but punish him. So Quresh went there and he debated and he won. But that king was so disturbed that then they put out his eyes. But he was not feeling pain. Why? Because he was surrendered to his guru. He wanted to protect his guru. For that reason he went. And also later on when he came to Ramanuja, Ramanuja took him to a deity of Vishnu, Bhagavan, and prayed to him. Then by Bhagavan's grace everything is possible. So Quresh got his eyes back, and now with those eyes he could see divine things, transcendental things. So that is by the seva of Guru, complete surrender and seva. One can get divine vision. Yes, that, it is not, yes, one Devi, but goddess Saraswati. Saraswati personally came to Sharada Pitya, that was a Devi, and posed puzzling questions from Vedanta to Sri Ramanuja. Satisfied with his replies, the goddess gave him the title Bhasyakar and also presented him with the deity of Sri Hayagriv. Sharada Pit is one Kali temple, but the Saraswati also appeared there. Then I'm trying to find Ramanuja, on the order of his father. He entered into family life at the age of 16. Yes, he studied Vedanta under Sri Yadava Prakash. Yes, not Achyuta Preksha, Yadava Prakash. Achyuta Preksha was guru of Madhvacharya. I mix sometimes. He was Mayavadi. So Ramanuja was studying under him. And he was avatar of Lakshman, so he possessed transcendental powers. While he was studying under Sri Yadava Prakash, transcendental activities and illumination of the highest knowledge were manifest in him. As an illustration, the following two incidents are worthy of mention. One time, Sri Yadava Prakash, while commentating on the statement Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma in the Taittiriya Upanishad, you have to know that Upanishad, they have no author, no human author. They are transcendental sound coming from the breathing of Supreme Lord. They are eternal. He is compiler. The sages, in their meditation, they can catch that sound and they can write, but they are not the author. That is Shruti. Mayavadis, they give more importance on Shruti, but devotees also give importance on Smriti. That is when someone realizes the truth and writes a scripture that is the same. But Mayavadis, they will give only importance on Shruti, Upanishad, and Vedanta Sutra. So if you want to convert them, then you will have to give them evidence from there. So he was explaining Taittiriya, and it is also, before I could not understand how this Mayavad philosophy can have so much support, because it is not logical and like this. But then when I read Upanishads, it really can be taught in that way. How Upanishads, they are explaining about Brahman and this, and giving certain examples also, it can easily be interpreted in that way, as Shankaracharya said. That is not correct, but it is possible. So he interpreted in such a way, and those people who are eligible only for that, they could see, yes, Upanishads really, they are saying this. But if you want to give Vaishnava interpretation, you will have to very deeply understand everything and combine statement and context and everything, then you can come. It is, I think, more easy to give Shankaracharya's interpretation to Upanishad than Vaishnava one. So he said to his disciple Ramanuja, Brahman cannot simultaneously be eternal, cognizant, and unlimited. Just as a cow cannot simultaneously have an unbroken horn, a broken horn, and no horn, Brahman cannot have a variety of attributes simultaneously. Like Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. For them, Brahman is Nirguna, has no qualities. For them, only Satyam, Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mityam. But they cannot understand this. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam at the same time. Therefore, it is illogical to say that Brahman has qualities, as it is devoid of qualities. Because really, Upanishads is Nirguna. Nirguna, Nirakar, these things. After listening to this commentary, the dissatisfied Ramanujacharya said, if Brahman is said to be eternal without qualities, then it is ascertain that Brahman is unreal. If Brahman is to be accepted as real, then one has to accept it. It is endowed with attributes, especially those of being eternal, cognizant, and unlimited. Such a state is neither contradictory nor impossible. As per the words of Shruti, Brahman is real. By saying that is Satyam, by saying that Brahman is cognizant, Jnanam, his eternal consciousness is to be accepted. Otherwise, Brahman will be nothing more than dull matter. Cognizance is an inseparable feature of Brahman. Brahman is unlimited and cannot be fathomed by the limited knowledge perceived by the material senses of a human. Brahman is beyond material conception, limitless, and beyond all material considerations or anxieties. Therefore, Brahman's qualities of being eternal, cognizant, and unlimited are interrelated and perfectly coherent. Nirguna indicates Brahman's lack of material qualities, but he is the embodiment of unlimited transcendental qualities. Upon hearing this, Sri Yadava Prakash was astounded by the logical statements of Sri Ramanuja. Here you should understand that here Brahman does not refer to impersonal Brahma Jyoti. Like Atato Brahma Jigyasa, first verse of Vedanta Sutra says, now it is the time to inquire about Brahma or Brahman, but it refers to highest reality, highest spirit, high unlimited reality. So Jiva Goswami told that sometimes Brahman is referring to Bhagavan, also Paramatma is referring to Bhagavan. In Upanishad, in many cases you will find even Atma can refer to Bhagavan. Like in that verse, Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo. You cannot attain Atma by lectures. Here Atma refers to Supreme Lord. Because later it says he will reveal himself. So Jiva Goswami explained you have to understand in what sense certain word is used. Bhagavan is always Bhagavan, one who possesses all opulences. There is no doubt about that. But Brahman can mean Brahma Jyoti, or it can also mean Supreme Lord. Paramatma can mean that all-pervading, that Vishnu form in the heart of everyone, can be Paramatma, or Paramatma can also refer to Supreme Lord. So here, the Upanishads, they are speaking about Brahman as Supreme Lord. So he told, yes, he has qualities. And Ramanuja, because he is Lakshman, he directly knows, personally knows Supreme Lord, Ramachandra. So he said, yes, he has qualities. So Yadava Prakash was astounded. And then another one time, what happened, Sri Ramanujacharya was messaging the oil on the body of his teacher, Sri Yadava Prakash, who was commenting on 2 shlokas of the Chandogya Upanishad. Here is this verse. The following is the essence of the treatise given by Sri Yadava Prakash based upon the commentaries of Sri Shankaracharya. Although all the limbs of the effulgent Supreme Lord are of golden colored complexion, his eyes possess a special significance. As the organ of evacuation of a monkey is brighter than its other organs, similarly, the Lord's eyes resemble that brilliance. Through those brilliant eyes, he sees everything. Listening to the comparison between the most beautiful eyes of the Supreme Lord and the excretory organ of the monkey, the extremely agonized Sri Ramanujacharya shed tears incessantly. A few drops of tears fell on the body of Sri Yadava Prakash. He was astounded to see that Ramanuja was crying with a heavy heart. When the Acharya asked the reason for Ramanuja's disturbed state, he replied that he was deeply hurt by listening to such a perverted meaning of the word kapya sam. He explained, the word ka means water. You will find in Upanishad in many places when giving elements, earth, water, fire. So ka means water. As per kam pibati iti kapi, which means that which absorbs or dries water, the word kapi indicates the sun. As per asa dhatu vikasane natu upaveshane, the word asa means fully opened or blossomed. Pundarika means lotus. The two eyes of the radiant face of the Supreme Lord are thus as beautiful as the lotus that is blossomed by the sun. Because here in the verse it is Tasya yatha kapya sampundarikam evam. So Ramanuja said, the two eyes of the radiant face of the Supreme Lord are thus as beautiful as the lotus that is blossomed by the sun. Even though Sri Yadava Prakash was astonished by listening to the narration of his disciple Ramanuja, he became angry and censured him. Initially, though Sri Yadava Prakash was a guru of the Shankara lineage of Kevala Advaitavad, that is Mayavad, and had aversion to Ramanuja, he later became his disciple. This is an indication of Sri Ramanuja's supernatural power. Actually, after that, Gurudev did not mention here, Ramanuja became very famous for his explanation. So, the disciples of Yadava Prakash, they were feeling threatened. Yadava Prakash also, he will ruin our school, because Ramanuja had his own school separately teaching Vaishnavism. So they said, now we will go to some pilgrimage to North India, and they invited Ramanuja to go with them. But the purpose was on the way they will kill him. So Ramanuja went, but his, I think, cousin, he somehow came to know about that plan. So Ramanuja escaped and he came back. And then later on, when they thought that he was killed by some lion or something, so they were very happy. But later on, when they came back, they saw him alive and he was preaching there. Then they understood he's not ordinary person. And then Yadava Prakash, his guru, also surrendered to him, became his disciple. There is a long story here. I also told just in brief. Yes. Here also Gurudev mentions that there are two scriptures, Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa, prior investigation and later investigation. According to Shankar, they are two different scriptures. But according to Ramanuja and other Vaishnava Acharyas, they are one scripture. Jaimini investigated into karma, these worldly activities, fruitive activities, and then, as a later investigation, it was Vyasadeva's Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra means Uttara Mimamsa. That when one exhausts karma, he can understand that is temporary, it cannot fulfill like this. Then Vedanta Sutra will start with Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now it is the time to inquire about transcendental truth, eternal truth. So they're both one scripture, but in sequence. So Vedanta Sutra, written by Vyasadeva, and he commented, Ramanuja. And I heard from Vaishnavas, I did not directly read, only some portions, that he has very good arguments against Mayavad. Our Gurudev also told, when he was studying in a university, that philosophy, that time Gurudev, he said, I was having leaning towards Shankaracharya. Means I had faith that Shankaracharya, not read, but that Shankaracharya's philosophy, because it was so respected, that that must be okay. That was Gurudev's conception. But his professor told him, you should read the commentary of Ramanuja. He has very good explanation of Vedanta Sutra. Gurudev said that time he did not read either of them. But later on, he said, later on I came to understand that really Ramanuja had correct explanation. And also you know, when hearing Navadip Parikrama, Ramanuja also, when he was in Puri, then Jagannath revealed himself to him and he said, you should go to Navadip. I will soon appear there as Gauranga Mahaprabhu. You leave your disciple here and come to Navadip. He came and he got darshan of Gauranga. And after getting darshan of Gauranga, he understood, yes, there were some hints in Shastra about your appearance, but before I could not understand. Now I can understand. So if you order me, I will preach about you everywhere. Then Mahaprabhu said, no, not now. Now you should preach this, Dasya Bhakti to Narayan. Later on that will be propagated. You will worship me within yourself, but outwardly you have to preach according to that time what was necessity. So he preached this. Vishishta Advaita Vad is his philosophy. And Mahaprabhu also told him, later on you will appear also in my Leela. And he came, Ananta Prabhu, Ananta Das. He was staying in Navadip. He was worshipping Lakshmi Narayan. And Mahaprabhu also told, from all four Vaishnava Sampradayas, I will take 2 items. He told to Ramanuja, I will accept from your Sampradaya this full surrender to Krishna and Vaishnava Seva, this element. It is very much prominent in Ramanuja's line, the necessity of Vaishnava Seva. Then Gurudev gave this example here, we are hearing every time. In Ramanuja came to one city where he had 2 disciples. One was rich, but was not inclined to serve Vaishnavas. So Ramanuja visited his house with his disciples and he told them in advance that he has no inclination to Vaishnava Seva, so will only visit. And then when they came to another disciple who was very poor, he also told them, he's so poor, so we will not get anything to eat, so you don't expect. So at that time, husband was begging around for rice, dal, and this. Wife was at home, but she was inside the house. Because they were so poor, she had only one cloth. After taking bath, she washed that cloth and only staying in Gamsha and putting that sari outside to dry. So at that time Ramanuja came. The cloth was not yet dry. So he knocked, and she knocked back that, and Ramanuja understood that she cannot come out. And he saw that sari, then he understood. Then he threw his own cloth inside, and she took that cloth and came out and fell down in prostration to Gurudev. And she was very in anxiety. Oh, Guru Vaishnava came, Guru and with God brothers, they came, but I have nothing to offer to them. She was having inclination to serve, but nothing was there, so she was disturbed. She said, I am so poor, even I cannot give you asan to sit. Then Ramanuja said, you don't worry about this. We can sit there under the tree on the asan given by God himself. That grass on the ground, that is the best asan. On the grass, it is God given. So they took their rest there, but she was so inclined to serve that suddenly she got that idea. There was one merchant in that city, and he was very much attracted to this wife because she was very beautiful. But he showed her so much opulence and was trying to get her in many ways, but he could not even see her anytime. But now she thought that I will go to him, I will beg for articles, and I will sell my body to him. He can enjoy me, but I will take this article so that I can cook for Guru and Vaishnava. She came there. That merchant was very surprised. You never came, now you came. She said, yes, I need some things. And because they came, I want to serve. Later in the night, I will come to you. And he was very happy. He gave many things. Then she cooked full feast and served Guru and Vaishnavas. And then husband came home. I'm speaking in fast because time is, and there are other topics also. So he came back and he was astonished to see Gurudev and Vaishnavas there. He bowed down and he only brought some few rice to house. Then he entered the house and he saw such a big feast was there, so many items. Then he asked the wife, where you got all these things? Then she said, I will tell you later. First you take prasad, then I will tell you. Then he became grave and he took prasad. Then she told him what happened. Then he was silent for some time. And then he said that man, he's very rich. And he was trying to get you in so many ways, showing so much opulence and everything, but he could not even see you once. And today, you sold your body, but for the service of Guru and Vaishnavas, not for any other purpose. So it means she is chaste. And now what she did, it was for the service of Guru and Vaishnava. So then husband said, I have firm belief, firm faith. No one can touch you in this world. Even cannot touch your hair on your body. No one. I have full belief. You go to him, you go. And Ramanuja said, you please take this prasad of Narayan, what you cooked for Narayan, you take to that person who sponsored this feast. Also, he gave some his own Uchishta Mahaprasad remnants from his plate. She went there, and that man was very happy. She came, and then she said, yes, I will be with you, but first you please take this prasad. My Gurudev sent this prasad for you, and she gave. Then after taking that prasad, his heart totally changed. by taking that prasad. He started crying and said, "Oh, I'm so sinful. What I wanted to do, I wanted to spoil you. I committed offense. I'm so sinful, even there is no place in hell for me," he said. So humble he became. And then he asked, "Who is your Gurudev? I want to meet." Then he came there and he also surrendered to Ramanuja, became his disciple, and for whole life he was serving them, this husband and wife, as God brothers, senior God brothers, whole life serving. Such a change happened by the power of Ramanuja. Our Gurudev also gave one example. Similarly, it happened with our Parangurudev when he was preaching in Bangladesh and in different places. Then our Parangurudev usually used to stay in rich disciples' houses. He would visit poor disciples also, houses, unfailingly, but he would not stay there because he did not want to make a burden on them for arrangement of prasad and lodging because of preaching parties, so many men. That was his consideration. But one very poor, Kushum Kumari, one disciple, she was very eager. "Gurudev, you please come to my house." And Paranguru said, "Yes, we will go, but how you will be able to make some prasad or this?" She said, "Yes, I will serve everything." But she was very poor. Parangurudev knew, but because she was insisting so much, they came, and she was making 3 times a day. Gurudev told, 3 times a day prasad, and opulent prasad. And she would request you stay overnight here. And with such devotion that Parangurudev could not refuse. So they stayed there, and then again next day she was cooking, and like this for 7 days, 3 times prasad. And Harikatha, everything was going on. Then after 7 days, Parangurudev asked her how you could do all this. Because she was all the time insisting, "No, you have to stay, I will cook." Then she said, "I have only this one house. So I sold this house. I told that new owner, you give me money in advance and I will give you my house after 7 days. When I will serve my Gurudev, then you will get." And he agreed. So all that money I gave. Then Paranguru said, "What you will do now? Where you will stay?" She said, "I don't care. I will stay on the street. If I die, no problem. But whether in future you will again come here, I don't know. There is no guarantee. Whether Vaishnavas will come here, I don't know. So I didn't want to miss this opportunity for seva. So if I die, no problem. Now my life is fulfilled." Such fate. So then Parangurudev said, "No, you will not die." And he arranged for her. He said, "You come to Mayapur." That time our Parangurudev was still staying in Chaitanya Math, I think. So he arranged for her place in Jogapit, there behind. For her whole life, it is my arrangement, you will stay there and do bhajan. And she came and did bhajan and left her body there. And once also Parangurudev told her, you should read Bhagavad Gita. And she said, okay, I will read if you order, but I'm not getting so much happy by reading Bhagavad Gita. Why? And she said, because the name of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not mentioned there. Then Parangurudev was happy. He said, oh, you have such nishta in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So whenever Parangurudev used to explain this about Ramanuja, this, always he used to remember her, because same point, and always he used to cry, Parangurudev, whenever mentioning this incident. So such souls are there, they are ready to offer their life for the service of Guru Vaishnava. Then Ramanuja also one time, there was one husband and wife, and husband was so attracted to his wife's beauty that when they were visiting Ranganath temple, he was holding umbrella and walking backwards together with his wife, but always seeing her. Because she was walking forward, he was also walking same direction, but face means backward, so that he could always look at his wife's face, so attracted, so attached. Then Ramanuja saw, and he asked him, why you are doing this? He said, because I am so attracted to my wife's beauty. There is nothing so beautiful, so always I have to see. Then Ramanuja said, okay, if I will show you something more beautiful, are you ready? Then he said, yes. Then he took him to Ranganath, means Vishnu Bhagavan, Narayan, and he prayed to him, you please give your Swarup Darshan to this man. And Narayan revealed himself. Now we are seeing Diti, but we are not having that revelation of actual form of Diti. But he got it by the grace of Ramanuja and Narayan. Then he saw Narayan. Then he became attracted to Narayan, and he was not attracted to wife in that capacity anymore. They both became disciples of Ramanuja. They were doing bhajan. And another one also, wife and husband, they're doing bhajan. And another, they were ascetics, sannyasis, brahmacharis. So they were thinking, why Ramanuja is giving so much importance on that couple? We are sannyasis, brahmacharis. They are household devotees, but he's giving attention to them. That was going on. Ramanuja understood everything. So one day he made this plan. To one brahmachari he told, when sannyasis and brahmacharis, they will take bath in that river, you mix their clothes. And he did, because it is Guru's order. Then when they came out, they saw, oh, why you took my cloth? And another one was saying, why you took my cloth? And they start to quarrel like anything. About one piece of cloth, dhoti. You know how sannyasi, they have only one dhoti and one that cover, brahmachari also. But they were quarreling so heavily about that one piece of cloth, why you took my cloth? Then that brahmachari was astonished, what is this? Then when he came back to Ramanuja, Ramanuja said, today night, you have to go to that householder couple in the night, and you have to steal whatever gold they have in house. They're rich, so we need for the mat, so you go and steal everything. Again, he had to do, because it is order of Guru. He came there, and husband was not at home, wife was sleeping, and he came inside, took all gold, and she also had many golden ornaments on her body, and he was very carefully removing that because she was sleeping. Then suddenly she changed her side. On another side, he became afraid that maybe she will wake up and ran away. Then, with Ramanuja, they came to that house and through the window, they were hearing when husband came back. And when husband came back, the wife was very depressed. He asked, why you are depressed? He said, I did a mistake. I was lying down and Brahmachari came from the mat and he started to take all the gold and also from my body. And then when he took all from this side, I was thinking, I will turn on another side so that he can take from this side also for the service of the mat. But he ran away out of fear. So he could not take. So that is why I'm depressed. Then that Brahmachari understood, oh, now I understand. Why Gurudev is giving importance. Yes, and husband chastised wife. Yes, you did wrong. How you could do this? You should do it more carefully so that he could take other side also. Then the Brahmachari understood. Then he told to other Brahmacharis and Sannyasis, this is what happened. It is the arrangement of Gurudev to show us all, to give us teaching. Who is really surrendered and who is really attached to worldly things. So it is not outwardly that someone is sannyasi, definitely means he is fully detached and surrendered. Or someone is householder, he cannot be. No, it is not like that. That teaching Ramanuja also gave. And there are so many other teachings also there in Ramanuja's life. He wrote so many books, so many commentaries. Yesterday I said I want to read from his commentary something. So now there is no more time, but there is one verse from Chandogya Upanishad, before we heard Chandogya. It is from Samaveda. One verse I want to read with the explanation of Ramanuja in the last chapter. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also in Jaiva Dharma, he quoted many verses from Chandogya Upanishad about the qualities of liberated jiva, and also about this verse, which I want to read now, but I have to find it. Yes. It is also in Vedanta Sutra, in the end you will find. Samutaya param jyotir upasampadya svena rupena bhini shpadyante evam evesha samprasado smacharirat samutaya param jyotish jyotirupa sampadya svena rupena bhi shpadyate. I only read one part of the verse. There is full verse, but translation I have to read the full one, otherwise you will not be able to understand. Air has no body. A cloud, lightning, and thunder have no bodies. Just as rising from the sky, assuming their pure states, they manifest their pure forms, like that, the jiva, leaving the body, attaining the Lord, becomes endowed with his own form. Then commentary by Ramanuja. Air has no head, hands, etc. Abra means a water-bearing cloud. The cloud and lightning are different states of water. Things without bodies are not connected with happiness and suffering. Air, etc. rise from the sky. They rise to a higher level for performing their functions. The word para means the state of air, etc. in their causal aspect. Jyoti indicates the reason for manifesting effects in those states. Approaching their causal substances, air, etc., give up their state of being an effect and adopt forms similar to their causal states. Giving up its 7 forms, the 7 forms of air are avaha, pravaha, nivaha, vivaha, udvaha, samvaha, and parivaha. Air remains as just air. Lightning, giving up its qualities of lightning, remains a light alone. Similarly with cloud and thunder. It is not so easy to understand. You have to know the context also from before. But the point is this one now. For this reason, Bhaktivinoda Thakur quoted. Now, in the same way, the jiva, by a special path, attains the Supreme Lord endowed with his special place. Giving up his condition of samsara, this material existence, he manifests a form similar to the Lord's, his transcendental form. This form is not additional to the jiva, but is his own. He does not attain his form as Atma, since he is Atma eternally. This verse you will find also in the last portion of Vedanta Sutra. There this question is there. When the jiva attains this Param Jyotir, supreme light, but here it does not mean Brahma Jyoti, but supreme light means Supreme Lord. There it is explained why is this so. When it attains Supreme Lord, then her own form will manifest. Abhinis Padyate. Atma is always Atma. It does not become Atma. But when in material existence that is covered. But when attaining Supreme Lord, then that transcendental form of Atma will maintain. And that is not something which is imposed on Atma. It is its own form. There you will find whole topic is about this. It is not like body we get in this world. Gross body, subtle body. It is something on Atma. But that is nothing, no additional. It is Atma's own form. So this form is not additional to the jiva, but is his own. He does not attain his form as Atma, since he is Atma eternally. Because you will find some sahajiyas, they're explaining that Atma is like a spark of light. Has no form, only like a particle of consciousness. But then Guru will give you that Siddha Deha, you are Gopi, you are Saka, you are Manjari, you are this, that Guru will give you. And that Atma will identify with that. Sahajiyas, they say. That is why they're giving these Sarupas like this, by imagination. But this verse of Vedanta Sutra, and Ramanuja is commenting in this way also, our Baladev Vidushan, everyone. No, when Atma attains Supreme Lord, that final liberation, it is not that Atma gets some form on her, but her own eternal form is manifest. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained this in Jaiva Dharma also. So otherwise I would read some other verses. Chandogya Upanishad is very nice about Supreme Lord's abode also, explanation how they play there like this. You will find. So today, glories of Ramanuja are unlimited. in short time, only what I could remember, based on what I heard from Gurudev and read. So you will find his deity there in our Chaitanya Mat in Mayapur, also in our Mat in Puri, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, appearance place, and also in our Calcutta Mat. On top there are 4 Vaishnava Acharyas. There Ramanuja is also that tilak, and in between there is one red line also. That is Ramanuja. So he is not ordinary person, sent by God, and he is also worshipping Gauranga Mahaprabhu in Navadip. So I am bowing down to his lotus feet and praying for his causeless mercy to bestow that service of his lotus feet and the lotus feet of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna. Tomorrow is Ekadashi. We'll further hear